The Honourable Member for Flin Flon.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's the 20th anniversary of the North American National Occupational Health and Safety Week, and in Canada we are honouring the memory of the victims of the Westray mining disaster. It's more important than ever to emphasize that guaranteeing the health and safety of workers must be a top priority of governments and employers, as it is for unions and workers. So I'd like to ask the Minister of Growth, Enterprise and Trade, does he agree that the health and safety of workers is the #1 priority for this government?
The Honourable Minister of Growth, Enterprise and Trade.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Yes, we believe that worker safety is very paramount to this government. In fact, that's why just last week we launched the review of the Workplace Health and Safety Act. We think this will be a very good opportunity to engage the business community, workers, and certainly all of Manitobans in terms of their views in making workplaces more safe here in Manitoba.
The Honourable Member for Flin Flon on a supplementary question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to table a letter from this minister. In it, he demands that the process to determine the levels of occupational exposure limits for dangerous contaminants like silica and manganese be changed by June 30th. The minister did not demand that strong worker safety guidelines were the #1 consideration. His #1 consideration was economic feasibility and competitiveness. Why is this minister not making health and safety of workers the #1 priority?
The Honourable Minister of Growth, Enterprise and Trade.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I do actually appreciate this question from the member. Certainly part of that review, we're going to look at process. And we believe there was a flawed process with the previous government. So we're asking the committee to have a look at the process to make sure the processes are right and not being driven by government policy, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Flin Flon on a final supplementary.
Madam Speaker, this minister is ordering a change in the process for setting OELs because of his new mandate. OELs protect workers from short and long-term health problems like hearing loss, liver damage, cancer, serious ailments, and death. But apparently, adopting the protections set out by international authorities on how to protect workers is not the best practice for this government. Can this minister explain why his mandate changed from protecting workers to protecting the economic interests of employers?
The Honourable Minister of Growth, Enterprise and Trade.
Well, Madam Speaker, we want to put Manitobans to work, and we think that's the important thing to do. Certainly EDC had a presentation today at lunch about trade and putting Manitobans back to work. We know where we stand on trade. We're not sure about the NDP. One member from Fort Garry said we put our emphasis into making sure that we reduce trade barriers. Another member from Flin Flon says
Order.
He stands against these kinds of trade agreements. Maybe the members opposite should have a conference call and figure out their views on trade.